Hey guys, thank you very much for joining another CloudTask Skillbridge. As you all know, if you've already been to these sessions, we're going to be reviewing what is needed to be activated within the marketplace. What do you need to get that top rated badge and that top rated plus badge? So let's jump right into it. I'll start sharing screens and show you guys what is needed in order to get activated, right? Step number one is I need to be activated before I even start, thinking about what job opportunities, can come out of CloudTask. So I can probably zoom in a bit more. There we go. So we have Ashira. She is a customer support rep from Jamaica. 1,000 to 1,500 is the base range that she's looking for. Has a little quick about me section, customer support and sales specialist, 2 years plus of experience in high volume calls, appointment setting, and client relations. Good. So Ashira is activated, of course, right? What do we have? We have a headshot professional. Yes. Some pictures have definitely gotten a lot better. Some are for, social media like Instagram and Facebook. Others are for you to land a remote job. So this would definitely be considered a good professional picture. We have the role that she's looking for, the monthly rate, and now the about me section, which is that title. Let's check and see what industry she's worked in: hospital and clinics, telecommunications, sales agencies. What software has she used? Ring Central, Jira, Microsoft Teams, and Hubstaff, Calendly, right? So you guys have the opportunity to be very specific as to what type of industries you've worked in, what type of software. Great. Move on to what type of availability, remote, her English level. Awesome. The second most important thing on the profile would definitely be your work experience. The number one thing, guys, is your video. The video is where you're able to express your English level, how confident you are, what type of KPIs you've hit in the past, and how you can motivate a hiring company to want to interview you for their next role, right? So video is definitely most important. Secondly would be now the completeness of your profile, but what they're looking at right after that video or right before the video is your work experience. So we have here customer support rep 2024, 2025. All right, we have sales representative. Okay, we have another sales representative role and another sales representative role. Awesome. So same as you would on your CV, your resume, you guys have to make sure that your work experience is correctly listed. So if you're only placing, let's say, sales rep, handled inbound and outbound calls, and that's it, you're probably going to get activated, but you're far from getting that top rated badge just because you're not being specific. You're not working towards making sure that your profile looks even better, right? So moving on to sales representative. So work experience is it. The video is another key piece. Now, let me share screens with computer sound so we could quickly listen to it. And then that way we can see, okay, Ashira is active, but is she top rated? And we'll get into top rated in a second. So let me stop sharing. Share once again. All right. Chrome tab. Got to make sure we're sharing that Chrome tab so the computer comes through. The sound comes through, and now I believe, yes, we can hear it. Now, the real quick feedback before I play it, the videos preferred should be horizontal. That way, you get your head, shoulders in frame. Her head and shoulders are in frame, but kind of cut off, selfie mode. You don't get to see, your background. What if, I want to share my workspace? Anything would be better than that selfie mode. Just keep that in mind. If you're doing it off of your camera phone, which most of our camera phones have better resolution nowadays than our laptops, make sure to flip it. Make sure to flip it towards horizontal. Now let's take a listen to Ashira's video. Well dressed, she has a nice blouse on, definitely ready for an interview. Let's hear her out.
Hi guys, so I just want to tell you a bit about me. So I am really thrilled about this opportunity because I have a strong customer service and chat support and sales. So during my time as a customer support representative, I managed a high volume of calls, live
So
chat
I'm gonna
support.
pause it real quick, and again, I know that these are moments where we might be a little bit nervous. The video, like I stated, is the most important thing. So if you are also sensing that, Shara might be a little nervous, right? I'm under the impression that she's reading, almost word for word, right? Because you can kind of see how our eyes are going left, right, left, right. So Ashir has a great English level, C2 native. For those of you that have a C1, B2, B1, if you're having to read absolutely everything, hiring companies are going to be under the impression like, hey, this person's really good at grabbing a prompt off of Chat GPT or any other AI, and they're reading word for word so they can land the job. You do not want to look like an individual that needs to read word for word. You might have a few notes down for some KPIs, a specific date, but you should be able to go about it by saying, hey, this is Ashira. I've been in the sales and customer service industry for over 8 years. Some of the industries that I've been able to work in has been healthcare, telecommunications, and agencies. I'm most excited, to get going with a sales development role and a customer support one. I know that, commissions is really where the money's at. So I am interested in SDR roles, some of the technology that I've used, right? So you should have a script. You should rehearse that script, but don't go word for word on your video intro, because companies will not choose you for an interview, right? As other individuals might come across a bit more confidently. You might have to do the video once, twice, 3 times, maybe 10 times. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but if you don't feel comfortable, or if you're under the impression that you're giving a sense of a bit nervous, right? We might want to have to do that video again. So besides Ashira, reading off of her script entirely, now what we're sharing is also very important. So I tried going over that right now with that example. So how many years have you been working in the industry, right? So give a total amount. What type of roles have you held? What technology have you been using, right? Companies are really interested in knowing, have you been using XCRM? Have you already been using some type of AI? Are you already used to doing social selling through LinkedIn and other platforms, right? So make sure you're listing the technology, the industries you guys have worked in, what KPIs and success metrics you've been able to achieve. So a lot of you will say, hey, yeah, I had a few KPIs I had to, achieve, which was appointments being booked, demos presented, but we're not going further and stating, out of those meetings, this generated X amount of money. Out of these troubleshooting, customer support inquiries, I was able to save X amount of money. I was able to, keep 90% of my client portfolio for 2 years while I was working at ABC company. So being very specific in your video with numbers and percentages and timelines is really what's making you guys stand out, right? Making you guys stand out. So if you've done a video already, you feel comfortable with it, watch it again. And if you're not being specific on the industries, tools you've used, roles you've held, the audience or customers that you've been reaching out to, right? And any specific KPIs or success metrics, I would definitely recommend, taking another look and checking out that video. So Ashira, for now, she is active because she clicks off on she checks off on professional picture. She has a good title. She listed her work experience. As you can see, she has, listed quite a few work experiences. She has a complete profile. Now, the video, since it's one of the most important things, needs to be improved in order for her to get that top rated badge. I'm going to move on real quick to Andres. Andres is actually really close, a bit closer than Ashira, to getting that top rated badge. And the reason for that is based on the video, right? Now, the reason he hasn't gotten it just yet, and I'm reaching out to him, give me a second, stop sharing. All right, cool. Share screens. Once again, I'm going to share with computer tab so we could go into Andres's into his video. But if we look at it quickly, so we have Andres, customer success specialist, also has a good professional picture, right? Doesn't need to be a headshot all the time, but as long as it's professional, let's add it there. Remote and on-site customer support professional with 7 years, driving client satisfaction and operational excellence. Industry experience he listed. Software experience, he only listed Google Workspace. All right, but we did add a software in there. I know if he goes into his profile, he's probably going to realize that there's more software skills, experiences that he could add in there. Candidate information, English level, okay. Roles, awesome. Now, customer support and customer support. He's got 2 customer support roles. Ideally, it's 3, right? So if we only have 2 work experiences, but we've worked at both of those for over 2 years, right? Making a total of 4 years. All right, we can pass that. But again, the idea is 3 minimum, and that'll get you closer to that top rated badge. Now let's watch the video and analyze it as well, right?
Of BPO.
Let's start it off before you guys.
Hello, my name is Andres, and I am 23 years old. I live in the States for about 3 years. Then I came back to Colombia to finish my high school. I've always been very interested in arts since I was very young, and I was actively involved in acting and gymnastics during my high school years. After graduating, I began my career in the industry of BPO. I started with teleperformance, where I worked for around 2 years. I was part of the campaign AT&T, primarily handling customer support related to billing, plans, and product and sales. Later, I joined 24/7 in touch. Initially, we were assisting Walmart customers with their inquiries, and after a year, I transitioned to chat support and email support, focusing on helping delivery drivers with any app, trip, or customer related.
Okay, so I'll pause this one real quick. Again, I'm under the impression that Andres isn't reading. Now, may I be wrong? Yes, but it is coming across a bit more naturally. Ashir's English level is higher than Andres, right? Andres is probably between a B2 advanced to close to that C1, but clearly Ashir has a higher English level. That means that even if you have a B2 advanced, you could still you could still work hard on your profile, on your video, and potentially get that top rated badge, right? So with Andres, the only thing holding him back is filling out, adding some more work experience. But within the video, I'm able to understand he's worked within the BPO sector. Teleperformance is a big name out there internationally. He's letting me know that he's handling both chat, email, and phone. So I'm understanding what type of channels he's using. Also well-dressed, right? Did his video selfie mode, not the end of the world, right? That's why I'm stating that it's preferred. It'll look better. But again, he can still earn that top rated badge, even if he did it off of selfie mode, right? So as well, what you're sharing, how professionally dressed you are. And if you're not reading the majority of your script, you're gonna have a way better video, right? You're gonna have the opportunity to be top rated, and honestly, have the opportunity to get requested for interviews, right? So with Andres, already reached out. We're gonna send him a little follow-up message just so we make sure that he's able to just update one more work experience, right? And that would be it. Now let me move on to our last one, which would be Oscar. He's actually top rated plus, but let me also, I know you guys are visual, probably like myself, and we can go ahead and listen to that one while we diagnose it. So again, Oscar, account executive. He has senior sales and customer success leader, 15 years driving revenue, SaaS growth, and customer onboarding excellence. He listed the industry experience. He's listed that he's been an account executive, customer onboarding specialist, AEAE, customer onboarding specialist, sales manager, sales rep. Okay. So he's listed out quite a few things, right? He brought his resume, his CV to life in his CloudTask Marketplace profile. So he has, landed interviews, gotten jobs in the last 3.5, 4 years through the marketplace. So I think this is a really good example to follow by. His video again, let's check it out.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Oscar.
So real quick, Oscar actually was able to work the selfie mode, off your camera and horizontally, even though I've expressed that keeping it on a stationary position will usually be better just because we're human. We might move around a little bit and you don't want your video to come across, wobbling back and forth. But what he's doing right now is pretty smart. He's looking for a remote job, right? Companies will definitely be more motivated to getting started with an individual that has already invested in his workspace. So he's doing it selfie mode. He doesn't have it in a stationary position, but he is showcasing what his remote work environment looks like. So let's take a look at that.
I'm 38. I've been in the sales world for the past 20 years. This is my workspace. This is how I love to work. I am very competitive. I love technology. I leverage technology to deliver the best results possible. I've been in this industry for the past 20 years in multiple industries like SaaS, legal, cybersecurity, marketing, automotive, communications. I have been an account executive, an SDR, a sales manager. I have been successful in all the same roles. At the end, it's all sales oriented. You just do different type of things. But at the end is the attitude, the knowledge, and the disposition for delivering to get results that, actually gives you great numbers. I'm always responsible with my KPIs. I have experience all the sales tech, when it comes to CRMs. I have used all the commercial CRMs. I use Apollo. I'm great at doing lead generation.
All right. So wanted to showcase that profile as well. Now, everyone, there's an area of opportunity for everyone, right? So I know Oscar mentioned KPIs, but he didn't mention any specific ones. He didn't mention which ones he was over exceeding, right? So again, there's always going to be an opportunity to make the perfect video, but I think it's just a joint effort of having a great professional picture, a good title or about me section, your work experience, right? Bring that resume, digital resume to life in your profile, and then having a confident video where you can express your overall experience, years, right? What roles you've held, what industries you've worked in, or the main industries. Because again, Oscar started naming quite a few. He used that to his advantage, right? But again, if you haven't worked in so many industries, name one, name two, right? And name one or two KPIs and try and be specific as far as honing in on what was it looking like. Don't lie, right? There's no need to say, hey, I was able to help a company generate $5 million in just 6 months. Because then if you oversell yourself, you get the job, you might not keep the job, right? So make sure that you guys are expressing a truthful KPI and you're able to showcase that on the video confidently. Don't be scared to take another video, take one, take two, take three. You could share it with the CloudTask team. I've always, asked you guys to share it with me. You could definitely share it with the rest of the CloudTask team. So with that being said, activation, we all are very well aware. Stop sharing. We're all very well aware of what you need to be activated, right? You need a professional picture. You need to make sure you list your work experience. You need an about me section, right? And the video needs to, you need to make sure that the video does not have any personal contact information, right? So I am about to do a video. Hey, this is Danny. And that's it. I'm not going to say Daniel Agudelo. Make sure that if you guys are doing a video and you're able to list your name at the bottom, it just says Danny, right? Sometimes I'll see a few people, hey, Daniel Agudelo. That makes our marketing team have to go in and edit your video. You might have to go in and edit the video. So just make sure that you're not sharing any personal contact information on that video. And that is it. So that's the mini lesson for today as far as what you need to get activated, what you need to be top rated, what you need to be top rated plus. Top rated plus to top rated. The differentiator there would honestly be years of experience and your English level. If you have over 4 or 5 years of experience, you could definitely expect to get on that top rated plus badge. If, of course, you've checked off all the other boxes. And if you have a C1 advanced or C2 English level, right? For the top rated, that's where the bracket is 2 years, right? You can have 2 years of experience and your English level might be a B2 advanced. You're working on it. And that's how you would move on to that top rated badge. But again, it all revolves around having a complete profile, right? If you can't apply to any jobs if you don't have a top rated badge or a top rated plus badge. So I know a few of you have reached out. Hey, Danny, I'm interested in this job opportunity, but you don't even have a headshot. You haven't added your work experience and you don't have a video. So all of the 3 main criteria are not even checked off in order for you to be activated. So keep that in mind. All right. And if you forget, reach out to the team and we'll remind you as to what you need in order to be activated. Now, what we're about to do is we're going to see a positive interview, right? Someone right now is on her second interview, actually, because I'm going to show you the first interview. Second interview was today. and it looks like it's moving forward. So the idea here is to showcase a real interview, a success story that has occurred, and what we can extract from it, and how we can potentially replicate certain things so you guys could go to those interviews even more prepared. All right, so let me go ahead and share screens once again. And we're going to go to Handy Dandy Course. Check out our course recording. All right, great. So as you can see, she has joined before the hiring company. So this is always a plus, right? As you can see, course is at the bottom. Guys, if you're going to an interview and it's set for 12 o'clock, you should be there by 11:50, right? So if you want to be there on time, you're there early. If you're on time, you're late. The reason for that is you might have some internet issues. Someone from your house might have connected. Your cousin might have just gotten to your house and connected on Wi-Fi, and now you're running a little bit slower. You clicked on the wrong meeting link and you waited a minute before jumping, right? So there's so many things that can happen. Make sure you guys are there 10 minutes before. I see some people there 30 minutes before and they're just multitasking, turn off their camera and they're working. Do whatever you feel is best. Just try not to get there after the person that's actually interviewing you, right? You're already getting a few brownie points deducted. And again, if you're there early, it just goes to show that you're going to represent their organization if you are hired in the correct manner. If there is a customer onboarding call, you're going to be there early. If there's an account executive call, you need to close a deal, you're going to be there early. As an SDR, you're being organized by checking out your lead list, right? So being early says a lot. So just make sure it's a simple thing. Your calendar invitations. If you guys are just getting into the remote workspace, make sure you guys are clicking on those invites, right? But we'll get into the do's and don'ts in a bit. Let's check out then. Oh, and then lastly, so if you have, if you're going to add your name on and you should add your name, just put your first name, right? No need for the last name. Julianne's last name is actually Palmer, so it just says Palm. But then the first three letters, the person hiring was also thrown off. Like, oh, what's your name? Oh, I'm sorry, I was kind of thrown off by the name that's on there. So make sure you guys are adding just your first name, no nicknames. Make sure there are no nicknames there, right? You'll lose professional brownie points there, right? If it says some slang. So make sure that it is your name, and that's it. My name's Daniel. I might put Danny. That's the most, nickname I would recommend to you guys. But let's check it out. So Julianne is her name. She's there early. Let's see how it all gets started. We'll go straight.
Hello.
Give me 1 sec. There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And you?
Doing good. Doing good. How do you pronounce your name?
It's actually Julianne.
Julianne. Okay, I thought it was, and I saw the battle there. I wasn't sure.
No.
Hi. How you doing? How's everything going? Where are you based out of?
I'm actually here in Jamaica.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yes, thanks.
Good. So we normally keep these interviews like super duper informal just to see if there's a sync. And then if there is, we would probably call you in for a second interview. So I just wanted to hear more about you and what your admin experience is and kind of take it from there.
Yeah, sure. Should I go ahead?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So thank you again so much for meeting me today. So a little bit about who I am. I have experience in both administration and operational support in industries such as financial, logistics, and supply chain and education. I have skills where I had to organize data and ensure that they were accurate, as well as communicate effectively either through phone, email, and support. And because of this, I was able to have data sheets where I communicated with reports effectively and had this. Okay, let me just start over. Sorry about that. So we're gonna rewind. Sorry about that. So yes, so I have administration and operational support in both logistics and education. And through those industries, I had to work with accuracy and attention to detail and to communicate effectively. And because of this, I was able to cut down on repetition, where I was able to meet deadlines and to communicate through phone, email, and support.
Okay, so what systems or platforms have you used in the past?
So when I was working at Edward Jones, they had their specific CRM that is called Jones Link, where I had to sign in and to update the CRM with accurate details for their clients, because they were heavily regulated, which means that I had to update their system
With what? Give me detail.
with their names, their addresses, and onboarding them so that they could pass the auditing system effectively. And
What do they
ensure-
do exactly?
So they were a financial company where where customers or clients, they bought stocks and investments with a different third-party organizations. So I was responsible to schedule meetings with the financial advisor and the customers, follow up with auditors to ensure that the documents were submitted in a timely manner and they were accurate, as well as being able to liaise and follow up with the different individuals, either by head office as well as different teams and departments, to ensure that these were actually met in the deadline and they were actually completed accurately.
Are you still working there?
All right. So quick pause. Quick pause. So we're already 4 minutes, 5 minutes into the interview. 2 minutes was Julianne being there early. But so it's things that we can take away from this, right? So one, she's obviously a bit nervous. You could tell that she immediately, tried composing herself, saying, "Hey, let me take a second. Let me rewind. Let me repeat myself." So well done, right? Like, she's calling herself out. She didn't say I'm nervous, but literally said, "Hey, just give me a sec. Let me get my ideas together." So what I meant to say was, and then she just went into it, right? Be prepared for someone on an interview that might have their mic off and might be in an office space where there's other background noises, right? So I was also thrown off by it while I was watching the interview. If you're nervous yourself, you hear background noise, you might start getting a little bit flustered. But again, I think Julianne managed that very well. One of the main things that we've mentioned before is be specific, not only on your video intro, but on these interviews, right? So she did a really good job mentioning what she was doing. But as you can see, Daphne's asking her some specific questions. What was what did they do? We could have probably started off by, "Hey, my most previous company, which was a XYZ, helping companies invest with stocks and this and that. What I was doing is," right? So she asked, "What does the company do? What tools did you use specifically?" And then the last one she just asked is, "Are you currently working there?" Right? So that's a more closed-ended question, which you're either going to get a yes or a no from. But these open-ended questions were definitely coming in because she could have been more specific, right? Keep that in mind. Also, something that I want to highlight on Julianne's part is, hey, we might have to take our interview a bit quicker, meaning we're on the road, we're not in our designated remote workspace, right? We have to take it from somewhere else. She put her virtual background on because she's aware that, hey, I might have something going on in the back I don't want someone to see. Let's make sure we have that virtual background on. So good job on that. Has her camera on. I saw one of these days there was an interview with zero camera on from the candidate. Funny as it is, that person's still moving forward, so they must have done really well. But nonetheless, the camera should always be turned on unless literally both your computer and your phone are not working, right? So well done there from Julianne. There are questions that are now coming up from Daphne. Let's hear what she states about, are you currently working there? And the answer is no.
No, that was previously when I was living in Canada.
How long were you working there for?
Close to 2 years.
Oh, and currently, are you working?
I was working, but no, I'm not working now.
What were you doing previously?
I was.
So again, the being, general and not being specific right there, like, oh, okay, and are you currently working? I'm not working. All right, what were you doing before, right? So it gets down to maybe I should just give a good intro about myself. Currently looking for my next opportunity. Last place I worked at was XYZ, and that's what's going to come up in a few minutes, right?
I was working as a freelancer.
Doing what?
I was more doing administration where I was responding to emails with small
Go.
business owners, where let's say if they wanted me to make phone calls, follow up, and to schedule meetings, that was what I was tasked with doing.
It was like more geared towards sales or admin.
More administration.
Okay. And so how long ago did you move from Canada to Jamaica?
Last September.
Oh wow. Very cool. And what do you like it better? Where do you like it? Where do you prefer Canada? It's two different worlds.
I know, but because I'm adaptable to my environments, it was personal for me to come back home and to make my contribution. And because I was so used to adapting to working in remote and in person as well, I see this as an opportunity for me to do so and to continue what I was doing before.
Okay, good. And so what do you enjoy doing?
I enjoy doing repetitive tasks. I had to do this when I was both working at Clintor and Edward Jones. It was just basically assisting in onboarding data sheets, ensuring that the information that I was entering in the system in vast volume of them, they were entered accurately so that there were no delays in meeting deadlines. The reports for the financial advisor was accurate so that they can present in meetings and just meet with their clients. So this gave me the opportunity to communicate with the clients and to provide firsthand support to them, as well in the back end for the financial advisor so that he was there to meet his target and goals.
How big was the company?
So Edward Jones is structured in a way that I was working directly with the financial advisor as a one-to-one, but it was a largely based all over Canada and in the United States. So what normally happens is that you are teamed with a financial advisor where you provide support, and then they have to meet their specific targets on a monthly basis as well as quarterly. So when they do so, they would have large meetings and events that would actually show how they were progressing with the target that they needed to meet on those monthly or quarterly time.
All right, and then making a quick pause here. So positive, and then an area of opportunity, right? So positive is when she was asked, "What do you like to do?" I've heard when candidates might think this is a personal thing. So, hey, I like to play American football, rugby. I like cats, right? So I love the fact that she immediately went work related and she associated what the role she's being interviewed for as far as what she likes to do. Hey, I love repetition. I love to make sure that my data is accurate. I have a little bit of OCD if I see that the data is not fully updated. That's one of the things that I really like to. So again, she made it relatable to the roles that she's held. Very well done. Now, area of opportunity. I only heard the question is how many people are in that company or how many people are in that. I'm pretty sure that's what the question was, but she went ahead and started answering how the setup or how her relationship was with that organization, right? Like, oh, I had a financial advisor. I'm the one helping them. I'm assisting them to make sure that they hit their KPIs. So I feel like you didn't really answer her question, right? I don't think she deep dives too much into it, but make sure that, again, I know we're nervous, but we're answering the question, right? Sometimes it's as easy as that. Hey, how many employees did that company have? I think they had roughly 300. Roughly, you're not going to be judged too hard if you say, I know for a fact that they are exactly 50 people in Texas, right? What if they have other places, right? So with that question, yeah, don't get thrown off. Sometimes, again, we're nervous. We might answer something else completely different from the question, but keep that in mind. Now let's keep listening.
Okay. Okay. Where are you on your job search now?
So I am looking for something long term with stability where I can transfer those skills and add value to, let's say, in a team environment or independently, so that I want to bring value to an organization where I'm providing the back end support to them.
Okay. Let me ask you, when you were in Canada for that company with the compliance, what was your, how much were you making a month? Or
So this is very, very important, everyone. So we always recommend, right? You don't bring up salary, you don't bring up commissions on that initial interview, right? We don't even know if we're moving on to the next step. We don't even know if there's an assessment, if I'm even being considered, right? So what we always recommend is use those moments of questions, right, for something more impactful. But be prepared if a hiring leader is going to ask you, oh, you were living in Canada working at this how much money are you looking to make? Her first question was, how much were you making there? So it's a little bit different. How much money were you making there? That one doesn't come up as often as how much are you looking to make today, right? So I don't necessarily bring up base and commissions on my first interview, right? But I am prepared if someone asks you, how much are you looking to make, right? So let's listen and see how this
an hour
evolves.
a week?
So it was about $26 an hour Canadian.
Okay.
Yeah, so
What are you looking to make now? What is your requirements?
so because I know that Jamaica, the currency is a little bit different from when I was in Canada. I know that the range is within 1.5 to 2.4, so I'm within that range because I know that it will be on par with the competitive rates of.
So I would have answered shorter, right? So how much are you looking to make? 1,500, 2K to 24. I'm looking to make between 2,000 and 2,300. That's it. If the question now comes up, okay, why do you believe you should earn as much? Then that's when you start explaining, right? But I would definitely recommend be prepared, be ready, but don't over explain yourself, right? You might shoot yourself in the foot. But yeah, well done so far.
Administrative specialist.
Okay. Are you familiar with QuickBooks?
I am, but I didn't necessarily had to use it because they had their specific CRM that I had to learn their system. So I'm also a quick learner. But no, I didn't actually had to use QuickBooks, but I was familiar with Wave. Can't remember another one that was coming to mind, but I do know how to navigate accounting softwares.
Mhm. And wearing terms of hours and things like that, what hours are you available to start working if you leave this position is open for you?
So I know that there are different time zones, and because I'm familiar with working in Eastern and Pacific, and so put it this way, I'm familiar with working with different time zone based on my experience. So I'm flexible with adaptability.
Okay, so quick pause there. The first question, she's asking about the QuickBooks, right? So this is actually a plus. She stated, no, not really. So it's kind of like if they ever ask you a question like, hey, have you ever worked in the real estate space? You don't lie, but you don't say no. You could say not yet, right? So she kind of used that not yet in the sense of I am familiar. I didn't use it directly, but I was able to use Wave. I was able to use XYZ. I'm very familiar with accounting software. So that was done very, very, very well because if she asks you about QuickBooks, you immediately knew that it was accounting software. So you're stating, hey, I'm familiar. I've heard of them. I haven't used them directly, but these are the ones I've used. Very well done. Now, for the second portion, again, I think it's the nerves, right? The question the answer could have been a lot clearer. Hey, so what hours are you looking to work? Hey, I'm familiar with Eastern Central time zones, Eastern European. I've worked Pacific times. No, it would be easier. And the recommendation, guys, would be hone in on Eastern time, right? I would recommend hone in on Eastern time. And you could just say, hey, I'm available to work full time, Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. Right? So if you say that, they immediately know, oh, you're looking for full time. Hey, I'm looking Monday through Friday. Honestly, 8 to 1 p.m. is what I'm really looking for part time right now. But yeah. So again, that could have been answered a little bit more directly, not beating around the bush so much. Let's hear and finalize the interview.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes. If moving forward, what would success be like in the next 30 days if given this opportunity for this role?
Um, in admin, it's different than any other position because it's kind of like learning a bit of the processes and then just hitting the ground running, right? So it depends on the situation. But there's a lot of hats, you know, like, so our admin team, so we start with like, you know, answering incoming calls, you know, assigning things to tech support, customer success, sales, whatever the call is coming in for, processing orders, making sure like data entry into the CR, making sure everything's accurate, things like that. So there's like a lot of different avenues for this position, but it's we're looking for like a can-do alpha personality that can take control, learn quick, adapt fast. And that's kind of where we are. That's kind of our goal for this, like the candidate for this position.
Okay. And it seemed a little bit similar to my role when I was working at Clintar, because it was a startup company that was also based in the US. And I had to actually liaise with different teams, accounts, and warehouse because they were more selling clean products. And I had to learn their SharePoint system, where I was able to communicate, take those calls, as well as update their CRM systems and check their inventory when they had low stock. And I had to process forms and invoices when they had their orders, either through the phones or via email. So I had to constantly sign in to check if there was any updates with emails or missed calls via through voicemails.
Nice. Do you have any other questions for me?
Oh, no, that is it. Thank you, Daphne.
Awesome, Julian. So we'll definitely be in touch. We're doing a couple interviews this week and we'll keep you posted.
All right. So that was the end of the interview. This interview happened. This one that we just saw the recording happened yesterday. Today has already, the second interview has already occurred. Looking, forward for that final one, so we could give Julianne that update. And then again, towards the end of the interview, guys, do you have any questions for me? Even if they don't ask you, do you have any questions for me? You should say, hey, before you go, just curious about this. Right? You should have one or two impacting questions. I like the fact that she did have a few questions. That first one, hey, what does success look like within the first 30 days if I were to get hired? I think that was very well done. They got the interviewer thinking, and they were actually able to express, hey, this is what is expected out of you as an admin. And these are the, soft traits that we're looking for. And again, I think the opportunity there is for you to really, show them that you're not just, oh, you don't have any questions for me. Okay, great. That's 90% of interviews. If you do have a question, that's now 10%. But to be the best questions, you ask those interviewers is exactly what just happened. She had to think about it. She was looking up for a second, started thinking, and stated, hey, yeah, this is exactly what I would need. So very well done. Make sure you guys get there with some interview questions. Area of opportunity would be if you guys are interviewing elsewhere, you might want to get some urgency on there and state, hey, Daphne, really love what you guys do. I do have a few other interviews this week. I'd love to make my best, decision. I'd like to choose my best decision by Monday. Could I expect, a second interview with you guys? Is there any assignment? Again, shows you're being a little bit proactive. You're being persistent. And again, you're stating, hey, if you like what you see, you better move quickly because I have other interviews in my pipeline, right? So that was the successful interview. Now we're going to move on to some do's and don'ts, right? So I'm sure you guys have already been, grabbing a few do's and don'ts while we've been looking at this video. But let's make sure that you guys are there early, right? You guys are there early on these interviews. How do we get there early? By accepting digital invitation, right? So a lot of you guys are not accepting the digital invites. That means that you said yes to either myself or someone from the CloudTask team, but you haven't actually clicked yes. This will help you by getting a notification, right? You guys can play around with it where you get 10 minutes before, 30 minutes before, but make sure you guys are accepting those digital invites, not only so the CloudTask team is aware that you guys are going to show up, but also so you guys get that reminder, right? So make sure you guys accept those invites. Make sure you guys get there early. 10 minutes. I don't think it's something crazy. 10 minutes is definitely doable, right? Make sure you guys dress to impress, right? Tank tops, I'm wearing a t-shirt today, not the best example, but a polo or dress shirt for the gents, blouse, dress for the ladies. I've seen whenever you throw on a nice blazer, even if you're wearing a t-shirt, looks a lot more professional. The environment where you're going to take the interview from, ideally it's from where you can work, right? Because companies sometimes will ask, hey, can you do a quick speed test? I want to do a quick little speed test while you're there from your workstation, right? So if you're in your car, it's because you got caught in traffic, you're currently working, right? And you just got out of a meeting. So try and be in a good, professional, quiet space for the interview. Now, flipping it to, guys, don't reschedule for any little thing. So any little thing would be, hey, I got caught up in a meeting and I'm not going to be able to make it to my house. Take the call from your car, from the Uber, turn on your camera, say, hey guys, sorry about that. I was going to, take the call from my house, but got caught up in traffic. But nowadays we got to live with this. My name's Danny. How's it going? So control the situation, but don't reschedule. If you need to reschedule, make sure it's an hour minimum before. If you're rescheduling 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes before an interview, it most likely is an emergency, right? Something has happened where you are, you have no way possible that you can join this meeting, right? And again, you guys are free agents. You decide what's an emergency and what is not. We will just share with you what most likely will happen, right? So if you try rescheduling a few minutes before an interview, 80% of the time, companies say, hey, let's look at someone else. You know what? Let's keep looking. So keep that in mind. If it's an emergency, hey, you already know what to do. No shows equals no reschedules. So if you don't show up to an interview, you don't let the CloudTask team know. And well, yeah, because you won't tell you don't have a direct relationship with the hiring company. So if you don't let CloudTask know that you're not going to show up to the interview, we can only assume that something horrible happened to you, right? Or you forgot about the interview. That's literally the two only options we ever can think about when there's a no-show to an interview. How do we avoid these no-shows? Reaching out to the CloudTask team immediately. Guess what, guys? Even if you forgot about the freaking interview, but you tell me or you tell the team, we will let them know, right? If you forgot because your time zones got mixed up, that's a better excuse as why you missed the meeting, right? I fell asleep, not the best excuse, but definitely let us know so we can communicate to the company and still have an opportunity for you guys to schedule that second interview. I'm sorry, reschedule the initial interview. Make sure you guys have a clear intro about your experience and the role that you're being interviewed for. So I have experience as an AE, sales manager, and an SDR. But if I'm being if I'm being interviewed for an AE role, there's no reason why I need to go into details or high details of all of my sales management experience, my SDR experience. They want to know about how many deals I've been able to convert, what's the average deal size, what type of product or service I was offering, right? So they want to understand that instead of knowing I was able to manage individuals. They're going to start thinking, so we're looking for you for an AE role. You used to manage 40 individuals. Why exactly do you want to now move on to AE work? Keep that in mind, right? So have a good, clear intro. about yourself. Make sure you research about the company before you get into it. Nothing's worse than getting asked, so what do you know about us? I know you guys are in software. Great. Yeah, that's what software companies do. They're in software. What exactly do we do? I didn't have time. I didn't. You're already making excuses. So make sure you guys research about the company, at least to be able to understand what it is they do, what industry they're in. Check out a quick video. Let it be on YouTube or their company website. Guys, make sure you have questions, one or two that shows curiosity about the role you're about to embark on if you get hired, right? So you're being an SDR. Hey, what type of tools are you currently using? What kind of tools are your SDR team using? Are they using Apollo? Are they using any type of power dialers? I'm curious, what CRM are you guys using? I've used HubSpot and Salesforce. Which one are you guys using? So it doesn't have to be the most intellectual question. It just has to show that I've been in the boat before and I'm curious about the role I'm about to start. Finally, make sure that you guys create some urgency, right? I know you guys are all looking to get started ASAP, obviously landing the best opportunity. It's not all about speed, but speed does come along with it. You guys are at times very passive, right? Very passive when you can actually express the urgency for you finding that ideal job, right? So those would be some of the do's and don'ts for that interview phase. And now let's move on to our QA session, guys. If you guys have questions, feel free to jot them down, and we'll get those answered. All right. So from my man Luis, I am curious if it would be better for her to provide less explained answers with a different voice. Okay. So tonality has a lot to do with it, but with her specific case, I wouldn't agree completely, just because tonality is, hey, we might have an off day. We might be a little sad one day. We might have gotten some bad news. But again, if we're looking for that job, we do have to kind of turn it around. And yeah, the tone needs to change, right? In situations like, hey, I'm excited. Do you really? You don't sound excited. Just because you're using the words, I'm excited, your tone is telling me differently, right? But I agree, like, let's say voice tone. Yeah, like I agree 100%. As far as over explaining yourself when that question hasn't come up, yes, that's when we sometimes self-sabotage ourselves. I've seen it both on interviews and on videos when, let's say it's, are you currently working? No, I'm not. The reason I'm not working there anymore is because me and the supervisors didn't see eye to eye. So, I thought it was best for me to move on. Okay, great. I didn't ask you the reason why you left. I was just asking, are you currently working? Oh, all right. So those type of situations where I would say, yes, let's not over explain ourselves. Let's answer the question, give some detail, but definitely let's hone in on the question and make sure we're answering it correctly, right? I got a question. Can you check out one of my videos from Loom to see if I'm making it right? I could definitely do that, Luis. I'm sure you already have me on WhatsApp. Please forward it to me once again and hit me up with another follow-up message if I haven't been able to respond to you. But yes, I can definitely check it out right after this live, and I will. I'll send you my feedback. All right. Feel free to send that right over to me. And guys, if you have any questions, don't need to wait for the Skillbridge, right? As you all know, within the landing page, I'll just share screens real quick. Within the CloudTask Marketplace, if you guys are having any type of situations where you can't log into your profile, you're having situations where you can't edit something, right here at the bottom at the footer, right? You guys will be able to get help. You'll be able to submit a quick form, right? And that'll get the tech team moving. And then the last thing I wanted to share, guys, is our partner program, right? So even if you're currently employed, maybe your English level is an A2, B1, right? You still have an opportunity to make some money. You can refer family and friends over to the CloudTask Marketplace. And again, we'll do all the heavy lifting, meaning we'll do the pre-vetting. All you really need to understand is, are they looking for remote work? Are they in LATAM and the Caribbean? And do they have an English level B1 and above? And that's it. So share them with the team, and we're here to help them get hired. And as well, you guys, once you guys fill out that profile. All right. You're very welcome, Luis, and have a great rest of the week, guys.